Hello, good morning to you if you are in Central Time. Good afternoon to you if you are in Eastern Time. Good morning to you if you are in Mountain Time. Good morning to you if you are in Asia, anywhere in Asia. Good evening to you if you are on Greenwich Meridian Time, which is Africa and Europe. My name is Enoch Enki, and today is a brand new day. It's 2021, January 1st. And this is Leadership Talk. We're going to talk about very, very important issues. Give me just 30 minutes of your time, and we will share ideas of common interest and importance pertaining to leadership and wisdom. Today, I'm going to talk about wisdom. And the title of what I'm going to talk about is Wisdom and Leadership, Your New Year Resolution. So get glued to your set, share with friends, and let's share ideas about wisdom because we need wisdom in 2021. Now, I'm going to begin with a story because I believe in the power of a story. There is a boy called Nathan, and Nathan had an accident with the parents. Unfortunately, the parents passed away, and Nathan lost one arm. Now, in losing one arm, all that Nathan wanted to do in his life was to learn Taekwondo. So, in the city that he was, there were 3 instructors that were teaching Taekwondo. And Nathan went to one of the instructors and said, I lost my parents in an accident. I lost one arm, my left arm, and I want to learn Taekwondo. The man looked at Nathan and said, Nathan, I wish I could help you, but unfortunately you've lost one arm, so I cannot help you because Taekwondo entails a lot of tangling and hustling and then trying to grab people, so you cannot do it. Nathan went to the second instructor and had the same results. So he nearly gave up. And then somebody told him that there is a last instructor in the city. So one morning, 8 a.m., he went to this place and there was a man cleaning and mopping the floor. He talked to the man and said, Sir, I'm looking for the owner of this place. My name is Nathan and I want to learn Taekwondo. The man said, Son, when do you want to start? He said, are you serious? I want to talk to the owner of this place. And the man said, I'm the owner. Talk to me. So Nathan said, all my life, all I wanted to do was to learn Taekwondo. But I have been to 2 places and they told me that because I've lost an arm, my left arm in an accident, there's no way I can learn Taekwondo. And the man said, you start tomorrow, come. All that I need you to do is to trust me. So the next morning, Nathan was there to learn Taekwondo. And what happened is that for 3 months, he was being taught the same skill. And after 3 months, he mastered it. So he told the instructor that, Sir, I think I have mastered this technique. Can you teach me a different technique? And the man said, whoa, I told you to trust me from the beginning. And Nathan continued. 6 good months, he was learning the same Taekwondo technique. So one day he went to the man and the instructor said that, Nathan, it's time for you to go for a competition. So I'll sign you up for a regional competition. Nathan went there and said, how can I win a competition when I have been training only one skills? But guess what? The first fight, Nathan won. Second one, he won. Before he knew, he was in the finals. And the finals, he just won it easily. So he went to the instructor and asked him, why am I winning fights when I know only one skills in Taekwondo? And the instructor told him that, look, what I've been teaching you for the past 6 months is the most difficult skill in Taekwondo. And when you grab somebody, the only way that the other opponent can get off the hook is to hold your left arm. And you don't have a left arm. That is why you win easily. So today, I want you to trust me as we learn leadership and wisdom in 2021. How are we made? That's how I begin my preamble. How are we made? Now, the answer is simple. You are a unique individual with tremendous ability and talents. Some you might not even know. So individuals, we are not just prisoners of our DNA. The Creator gave us a free will. And the formula for defining who we are is our chromosomes plus our environment plus our character. And that is why F.W. Boham once said, and I quote, we make our decisions and then our decisions turn around to make us, unquote. You are going to make many decisions in 2021. And I want you to follow me as we all make New Year resolutions and see whether we can go through it or we cannot. As we speak now, almost 84 million globally have contacted the coronavirus, and almost 2 million deaths have been registered. Our leaders need wisdom in 2021. And I've heard many people say that let's pray for wisdom for our leaders. But we can also teach wisdom because there are many wisdom models that I'm going to go through with you today. But I want to begin with our New Year resolution. So our New Year resolutions has always been traditions and rituals. And these rituals are the bad things that we want to throw away and then the good things that we want to continue. There have been many plans, and according to studies that I observed, most New Year resolutions do not live past the first 1 month. That means that by the 31st of January of the new year, all New Year resolutions, people throw them away. They don't pass through it. So, what's your New Year resolution? Is it to go to school? Is it to start a new business? Is it to get a new job? Is it to lose weight? Is it to get into a relationship or marriage? Whatever your New Year resolution is, that is great. But few resolutions or ideas that I want to share with you. If you want to live through your New Year resolution, stop making excuses. That is number one. And this is why the feet of faith are wet, according to Richard Coffin. So step into your river Jordan and it will dry up for you to walk through. We all remember in Joshua 3:15, when those carrying the ark were entering, Jordan, and the Jordan River was full. But God said that your feet have to step into River Jordan first before it will dry up for you to walk through. So the faith of feet should be wet. The next one is that you have to work with integrity. It's very important in 2021. And then learn how to close the refrigerator. Now, some of us open the refrigerators about 25 times in a day. And you have to cut some of the food consumption. We all know this axiom that man shall not live by bread alone. So stop eating a lot. That is important in 2021. Because of the virus, most people cannot be active. You cannot walk many places. And there are many exercises and, places like the parks that some people cannot go. So watch the way you eat is very important. And sometimes prayer and fasting also helps because they help to dethrone some of the addictive behaviors within us. So it could be drug, it could be alcohol, it could be abuse, it could be anger, it could be gossip, it could be being mean like Mr. Grinch. It could also be the way we talk to our partners, or it could be overspeeding. Some of these behaviors, we need to watch them and see how we can stop it during 2021. Theology has shown that whenever you begin a fasting, remember, if it doesn't mean anything to you, it won't mean anything to God. So when you want to do fasting, it is important because it cleans your system. But in doing that, combined with prayer and word of counsel. And if you don't do that, then you are just dieting. So watch that one out. These are other things that can help. My doctor, we were having a chat, and he told me that if those who have diabetes knows that the only way to solve it is to hate food. To hate food, because most, especially in developing countries, they consume a lot of carbohydrates. And carbohydrates turn into sugars in our bodies. And these causes a lot of insulin problems, which triggers diabetes in us. So those who have diabetes, learn how to cut carbohydrate consumption. Is going to help you a lot. This is directly coming from my personal doctor. Also, watch your appetite. Sin entered into our world through appetite. And many people have visited their graves early because of insatiable appetite for a lot of things. So make sure that you watch your appetite. Of course, we're all going to die one day, but you don't have to go home now. So watch your appetite. You also have to get a book list and read throughout the year, which is very important. You also have to declutter your wardrobe. A lot of people have so many things, clothing, boy, that they cannot even get a place to walk. So learn how to give away some of your clothing to charity and then the orphanages. It's going to help them. and it's also going to help you. And stop buying anything that you see. It's not everything that you need, so stop buying anything that you see. The other thing is that learn how to love genuinely in 2021. Genuine love is very important. And then don't spoil your kids. Isaac spoiled Esau. Rebekah spoiled Jacob. We know the rest of the story. Love all your kids equally. Also, go listen to his creatures. So use reasoning. Remember, Abraham used reasoning to convince God to save Lot. And then Moses did the same to save the Israelites on their way back to Canaan. Isaiah 1:18 also says that God says, come, let's reason together. So God liked reasoning. Reason with God in 2021. We also have this. 97-year-old Jacob wrestled with God and prevailed to change his circumstance. I want you to wrestle with God, and he's going to change your circumstance because you will prevail in 2021. Also learn how to forgive, because forgiveness has two aspects. Forgive those who have wronged you and allow them to forgive themselves. If you don't find anything useful or it doesn't add beauty to you, please do away with it. Just get rid of it. Live a simple life because simplicity brings comfort and calm. And live not more than 80% of your income. This is coming from Mary Hunt, who is the founder of Debt-Proof Living. Don't live more than 80% of your income. It's going to help you a lot. The other thing is that look on the bright side of life. Be grateful for what you have. Henry David Thoreau once said, and I quote him, a person is rich in proportion to the number of things he can do without, unquote. What can you do without? Friends, social media, buying anything that you see, gossip. Think about things that you can do without. It's going to help you in 2021. Then be a doer. God seems to like doers. If you look into all holy books, in Christianity, in Islam, in Buddhism, God picked doers to do his work for him. So be a doer. It's going to help you a lot. And keep your promise to self and others. Sometimes we keep promise to others, but we don't even keep promise to ourselves. Keep promise to yourself. If you promise yourself that you're going to lose weight, keep that promise to yourself. And that is God's character. God keeps his promise. And talking about God's character, 3 things that I've seen from all holy books that I've read. God does not honor his heroes. When they do wrong, he points it out. Remember when David and Uriah's case, Prophet Nathan had to go and tell David that God said he's seen this. So if your leaders do wrong, point it out to them. That is God's character. He does not honor his heroes. The other one is that God keeps his time. Be time conscious. God like cleanliness. We all know cleanliness is next to godliness. So let's be clean in 2021. And then God is truthful. Be very truthful to yourself and other people around you. Now let's turn to wisdom and leadership. Not many people know that wisdom is taught as a model. And today I'm going to do my best to soften it up for you so that you know that there are a lot of theories about wisdom and you will know where we're coming from. So scientific study of wisdom research comes from contemplative traditions to neuroscience. In all these areas, wisdom models are there. And we can talk about wisdom as decision-making ability from Standiner and Sternberg, their research. We can talk about wisdom as pragmatically relevant insight, and that is coming from Vivek and Ferraro. We can talk about wisdom as self-transcendent insight, and that is coming from Leveson, Edwin, and Roche. We can also talk about wisdom as a set of traits and personality characteristics, and that is coming from Albert, Bloch, and Bloch. We can also talk about wisdom as social phenomenon, that is coming from Edmondson. We can also talk about wisdom as a narrative process, that is coming from Ferrari and Weststreet. Or we can also talk about wisdom as a combination of viewpoints, and that is coming from Sanders and Just and Yan. So you can see that there are a wide range of research about wisdom, and I'm going to go through with you one after the other. But I want to start by saying on wisdom that wisdom is very practical. So this is the way I start with religious perspective, Judeo-Christian and all other perspective. There's a proverb that I like a lot in Africa. It says, a wise child is spoken to in Proverbs, not in words. So I'm going to start with Proverbs 9:10. It says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, And knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Folks, God is there. We have a creator who put breath in our nostrils. You did not create yourself. So the fear of that creator brings wisdom, according to Proverbs 9:10. And knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Then to fear God is to nurture an attitude of awe and humility before him, and to walk in radical dependence upon God in each area of your life. Therefore, wisdom relates to trust, humility, teachability, servanthood, responsiveness, and reliance on God. It is the exact opposite of autonomy and arrogance. So what is it to fear God? What does it mean? It arises from a couple of things, and I have 7 things here when we say to fear God. It arises from a choice grounded in the human will. Second, it elicits genuine worship, willing obedience to his commands. Third, it's a dread at God's holiness and trepidation of divine judgment. Fourth is faith and trust in God's plan for human life. The fifth one is hating and avoiding evil and refusing to envy sinners. The sixth one is generally reward of prosperity and long life. And then the seventh one is discipline instruction that instills wisdom, humility, and honor. I've seen a lot of people talking about, AK Mensah said, great education, prof, keep it up. Ike Tando said, I'm in class, says, lawyer Kofi Frimpong says, wisdom. Nana Ekuya said, listening live. God bless you for the message. It cut across all aspects of our lives. Happy New Year. Thank you very much for all of you who are contributing. So, a leader who fears God, respects the people's will, is genuine, obey the laws of the country, understand that judgment awaits our deeds, hates and avoid evil, is not envious, disciplined and humble. And above all, that leader is not corrupt. So those leaders who think that they are Christians, they are Muslims, and are not showing these signs, it means that you still don't fear God. So let me go to other perspective of wisdom. The first one is, I've talked about the religious one. The second one is philosophy of wisdom. And here I'm going to talk about Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. They were all early Greek philosophers. They talk about wisdom. And Socrates says that wisdom is knowledge of the ideal or divine. Plato treated wisdom as a virtue that must be acted out. And Aristotle says that wisdom is linked to excellence in practice. There were other leaders like St. Augustine and St. Aquinas who contributed to wisdom models. And Augustine believed that wisdom requires acceptance of God and obedience to him. Aquinas recognized a wider range of human reasoning before accepting the supremacy of God. And both saw wisdom as one of the 4 natural virtues of prudence, fortitude, temperance, and justice. Now let's go to psychologists, how they also see wisdom. Monica Albert in 2003 defined wisdom as a personality trait that integrates the brain's reasoning and relations with others. And Bills and Kozner in 2003 talked about 5 things that consist of wisdom: knowledge about life and lifespan development, dealing with life problems, knowledge about context of life and their dynamics, knowledge about values and life goals, and recognition and management of ambiguities. These are things you have to master to show wisdom. Now let me talk about leadership perspective of wisdom. And this guy, Sternberg, says that leaders use wisdom for adapting to existing environment, for shaping of the existing environment, and then selecting new environments. So in his perspective, wisdom is used in adapting, in shaping, and selecting new environments. Don't forget that. We all know that leaders solve a lot of complex problems, and the flux of dealing with multiplicity of problems means that leaders need to be taught about how to use wisdom or apply wisdom at the workplace and at home. So the best practices of applying wisdom are to think, feel, synergize, engage, reflect, and aspire. Don't forget these two. Can we teach wisdom? Yes, we can. Because empirical studies have shown that we can facilitate wisdom. General wisdom can be increased by focusing on activities that develop wisdom-related capacity or processes. And personal wisdom can be improved when individuals are taught how to infer insight based on personal experiences. Practical wisdom is then the connection of skill to culture and well-being of others. And Professor friend that I like very much, who also taught me, Professor Ladin, who has done a lot of models on wisdom, says that wisdom is manifested by continuously seeking more knowledge, experience, and ability. Michael Ferrari gave these ideas in 2008 about how we can teach wisdom. He began by saying that you have to reflect on your own life experiences because life teaches us wisdom. You need to reflect on your own life experience and then discuss those experiences with a wise person. It is not every life experience that you have to discuss with just anybody. Get a wise person to discuss your life experience with. Then reflect on wisdom texts, such as books, audios, videos, lectures, and counsel. And then use mindfulness to gain wisdom. He also says that consider logical arguments that provoke a deeper understanding of yourself. And then cultivate virtues. Engage in social services. Observe and evaluate other wise people. Apprentice with a wise person. And then wise people should mentor other people to develop their wisdom. So you can see that wisdom is really taught. And how do we apply wisdom in 2021 economies? Like I said, we have almost 84 million people who have contracted the virus, and almost 2 million people have died out of it. So how do we apply wisdom in 2021 in our economies? We need a new economic way of thinking. We need social cooperation. Adam Smith is the father of economics and an 18th century thinker. I like to read books about past people, but folks, Adam Smith died 230 years ago. So I need new economic thinkers in the 21st century to think about a new perspective, how we can solve problems with economics, because it doesn't reflect in the people's pockets. The rich are becoming richer and the poor are becoming poorer. How do we narrow the gap? We need to rethink our economics. And these assumptions should be practical and accurate. John Maynard Keynes, who is a macroeconomics guru and a British, said this about economics. He said, and I quote him, "The theory of economics does not furnish a body of subtle conclusions immediately applicable to policy. It is a method rather than a doctrine, an apparatus of the mind, a technique of thinking, which helps its practitioners to draw correct conclusions." So, what correct conclusions are we drawing? If the situation in our countries and economies is not reflecting the people's pocket, then we are not fixing their problems, and we need to draw the right conclusions. People don't choose to be poor or unemployed. Our policies have made it so. So the economic theory that events are the product of people's choice could be inappropriate now. A good economy should not be a situation where people struggle to find food, clothing, and shelter, and we have to look at that. Economic way of thinking displays actions and interactions. Actions of choosing under the constraints that scarcity imposes on us. We deal with scarcity by economizing. And to economize means allocating available resources in a way that extracts from resources the best for the people. But most of the country leaders have not been able to use our resources to extract the most for the people. And we need to double up on that. Time is not on our side. Folks, political leadership is not a game. It is a serious business. We need to play to the rules of politics, not a game. Because when the rules are in dispute or inconsistent or simply not clear, the so-called game tends to break down. Paul Hayne found that the countries of Central and Eastern Europe that were trying in the 1990s to move from the centrally planned and bureaucratically controlled system of production to decentralized market control system face no greater obstacle than the absence of clear and accepted rules for the new game they were attempting to play. People should know that what to expect from their leaders and then what the leaders expect of them. Our laws and customs and morality and technology and daily practices must interact to establish reliable patterns that everyone in the society can relate to and be part of it. I have a lot of people who are contributing, so let me see them and then just thank them for their contribution. Wisdom related to trust, faith and trust in God's plan. Happy New Year. Thanks for sharing of your wisdom on Facebook. I don't have to go further in my college debt. Free knowledge is great. Yeah. Brittany, one of my favorite students. Yes, you are not paying for this. This is free. So enjoy, Brittany. Now, we know that the world is in crisis, and in crisis, we need leadership. We have crisis theory, leadership crisis theorists like John Boynton. And these crisis theories enjoins our leaders to be entrepreneur-minded. So if you are a leader or you want to be a leader in this 21st century, especially in these times, you have to be an entrepreneur-minded person. And these are a couple of tips for leadership in crisis. We should know how to be great by reassuring the people with strong projections and calm confidence in these rocky periods. We should also prioritize the people before thinking about profit. The needs of the people should be first. Grace is the key word in our expectations. Our leaders must model healthy responses so that the people can adapt and cope with new challenges. We must reevaluate our goals with agility and pivot quickly. We must communicate with transparency, be factual, and reassure comfort and support for our people. We must observe without controlling. And please, don't try to talk people down in these times. Let's keep moving. Focus on small gains and practicing new skills so we can best serve our nation and organizations very well. I conclude with convictions. In 2021, most of our discussions, inquiries, and observations should grow out of convictions. We cannot begin everywhere or with everything. But we must begin somewhere and with something. And that something should be like the rod in Moses' hand. What are we holding in our hands? We can use it. Then we proceed from there and find ourselves on the basis of what we believe to be true, important, useful, and enlightening. We must take risk, seek justice for all, seek wisdom, and lead our people out of poverty, unemployment, diseases, and despair into hope, unity, compassion, stewardship, joy, and greater economic prosperity for our people. Thank you for sharing ideas with me and for listening to me, and happy 2021. God bless us all.